Hey guys, welcome back. It's time to discuss. It's time to take a little dig into tag grading and the ongoing, I guess, inability to take criticism. I guess that's the best way we can put it, by both the official accounts and the investors and the people that just say they like tag for the sake of liking tag. So we're going to take a look today at some situations. We don't have to go much farther than the tag grading account on Reddit to see that every time anything critical is said about the company, they're right there. They're right there. They're ready to act, ready to explain, ready to throw a fit, time and time again. Now, myself, I do not grade cards. I have no stake. I've purchased graded cards, and when I do purchase those graded cards, I crack them out and I put them in binders. I value my own opinion more than that of any of the grading companies. My value within the grading companies, my view of the value of the grading companies is when they act in the best interest of the hobby, of the collectors, and they're taking action against scammers, and they're working with me or law enforcement to do the right thing. I think that's the greatest benefit that can possibly come from this stuff. Now with tag, it would be refreshing to see a grading card company come out of the gate and not have some kind of scandal, not be working with somebody that's banned from their competition. Just please, can one of these companies come out here and do that? And also just not try to jump in when there's some sort of boom, when there's some sort of pandemic, when it's free money to put cards in plastic. Please. All right, so let's get in here. We got a lot to get through today. Buckle up. We have people that are testing the durability of the slabs. We have people that are discovering that some of the slabs are broken. We have Tag, who's flipping and flopping on, are they supposed to be breakable or are they not? Whoop-de-doo. All right, let's go. So first here we have, again, largely, it's largely like a legal speak, hey, what are you doing criticizing us kind of thing. All right, so you have even people saying, be careful, don't say that there's a backlog because you're going to get banned for spreading misinformation. And here we have Tag explaining, bans for misinformation are not silencing opinions. They are for instances where people present opinions as facts, like people making false accusations of astroturfing. So the accusations of astroturfing, many people believe that anyone that's advocating, or many of the people advocating for Tag, are paid, are shilling. It turns out a lot of them have financial interest, at least a lot of the big names that are coming out to defend Tag at any chance that they have, or shady practices we have never engaged in. Sorry, but we are not going to tolerate that. This is the company subreddit, and we are here to present facts and do our best to correct information when someone attempts to paint a picture that is simply not true. Not only is that not fair to customers, so they go on about transparency, but if somebody has misinformation, all you have to do is correct it. You don't have to get defensive about it. You just say, hey, no, this person was never paid. This person does not have financial interest in the company. And we're going to see that there's a few times here where they like to move some words around. They like to use certain language in order to deceptively put some points across or the advantages to their company. And we'll take a look at that today. But again, there's just countless posts here where they're like, oh, your accusations are defamatory and false. So this is people saying, hey, are people getting paid for this stuff? This looks like an ad. Is this an ad? And I think it's important that both the people that are presenting this stuff disclose whether it is or not. And if you broke trust in the past, as we're going to take a look at those examples, and people see that, hey, these people with financial interest, the people that are grading the biggest cards with you, the people that are going on YouTube, that are promoting Tag, if they're investing in the company, they should probably make it very clear that they're investing in the company. And when it's hard to find or it's not disclosed whatsoever, that's where you're gonna end up with trust issues. The transparency, our slabs are transparent and so are we. I think that's what they said at one point in time. So just, again, the marketing department here. So I think at some points they say that they don't really have a marketing department, but again, so here they're just defending the whole shill and paid posting and everything like that. And the thing is, too, It also should be disclosed if they're giving free grading out to somebody to try it out, whether that's an ongoing partnership or not. I think that's important information to disclose, especially when you're in the predicament that they're in, where I have several examples here where it's not disclosed properly or not disclosed at all that somebody is investing in the company but doesn't say so. But at the same time, they're the ones with the pitchfork that are coming after anyone that's critical of the company itself, or just straight up providing advertisement for them. Here, I think this is pretty important. We have Benton, who says, seems like every time you comment, it's on the defense. I agree. All you got to do is look through all of their comments, and like probably more than half of them are just defensive. Example given all the way back. I think this was 2 years ago, 1 year ago, a year ago, where they graded this Zapdos. It was a 7.5. And then Tag graded it a 10. It had a giant dent on it. Yes, they piled on. They piled on. Oh, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. If your system can't detect a giant dent, you might need to take a step back. I also don't understand the AI thing, because it seems like Tag doesn't push the AI term, but their investors do, and their fans do. And it seems like everyone just, I don't know if that's just people want to, if there's anything automated whatsoever, people want to call it AI. I don't know. I'm not sure there. It's weird. It's a weird thing, because it's like, oh, that's my favorite AI grading. They use AI. Do they? Because they you would think they like to repeat themselves on the marketing end of things from the official accounts, but they never mention AI, at least from what I'm seeing. A little bit weird. All right, so we have the Tag grading account. Very lovely. And just so we're super clear here, there's nothing wrong with advertising, especially if it's something that you use, that you like, that you're partnered with. Just be transparent about it. See? Transparent. Transparent slabs, transparent grades. I guess only not transparent advertising isn't part of that list. Though they let on. Now we have Mystic, who is partnered with the company. But again, if it's hard to tell if someone's partnered or not, what are we doing here? And there's no indication on his main account, the one with 140,000 followers. There's no indication on his secondary Mystic Rips account with 62.8 thousand followers. And I think maybe that's just a misunderstanding, or maybe just like if you have a super large account, you would think that's where you disclose, where you're posting, where you're advertising that you're part of the company. So here we have him, again, on the defensive. The investors or the partners or whatever you want to call them, always on the defensive. So we have the Tag Charizard here. Insane return from Tag. Star Eyes. Slabs available on our website soon. So I guess that kind of indicates that that doesn't really say that they're partnered or anything like that. And then you have him going on the defensive here with the sarcastic comment that says, I heard if you hit these slabs with a battle axe as hard as you can, they'll break. Sad face. Disappointing. They're brittle. The company's going to say they're brittle. They're going to flip and flop back and forth. They flipped and flopped even worse than they did in the previous video where we covered this. So if that wasn't enough of a defense, again, he's doing other things. He's saying me watching all the Tag drama as if it will make any difference. That sounds like you're pretty financially invested in the company. I don't know. I don't know if he actually owns any share of the company, if he's an investor in the company itself, or it's just a partnership where he gets a discount from the grading company. Regardless, it seems like the pictures have disappeared, but he was hanging out with Jesse from Tag. Good on Jesse for becoming more transparent and at least, letting people know that he has financial interest, that he's an investor, partner, whatever you want to call it, in Tag and Slab makes. Good. Awesome. If you want to pump it, I hope that everyone understands that the majority of the expensive cards that are being put in these slabs, especially the ones that he's posting, if it's his own cards, I think it probably even a step farther would be nice to say, hey, I'm paying for the grading itself. or no, I get it for free because I'm a partner or I'm an investor, that kind of thing. I think that's a step further. But maybe we'll get there someday. And I don't know, like even I'm not expecting it, just the content, not every piece of content that you ever produce, not everything that you ever have. But you would think that you'd have something here that just says, "Hey, partnered with, investing in." Nothing on there. Now, if we go to his Mystics Collectors _Capital Instagram account with 1,400 followers, small fraction compared to the other two accounts where the tag promotion, the tag defense is going on. We can see here, if we click on one of the posts, that is, it's not a pinned post, but it's towards the top at the moment, that they're partnered with Tag. So I guess if you go follow the chain, you can see here that they're partnered with Tag. I don't know what that partnership entails, if it's just discounted pricing for his group or whatever that he's promoting, where you can like learn to sell, kind of like a guru course of some kind. Talk to him a little bit about that. But I think if you're on the main account, if you're pumping on the main account, probably let people know on the main account. Now, if you dig hard enough, if you go take a look at a video from 2 weeks ago, we have him sitting here with the owner. Again, the owner, I'd love to talk to the owner and ask him about the individuals that have been doing business with him. His Canadian boy from the Liquid Marketplace scam, or blank that he was working with, along with GemNate. If I'd love to ask some questions. Again, if they would like to be transparent, they're welcome to do so. Now, we had Mystic hanging out with Jesse. I don't know if it was only story posts, but Jesse, I gave him a little bit of shit before because he was going to be investing in the company, which is fine. It's fine to invest in the company and be passionate about and defend a company. But I think it's important that people know that that's the case. And I think that's where a lot of the accusations for advertising and anything of the like. So even if it's not a paid partnership, if you're investing in a company, I think it's important to let people know. So here, plain and simple, right on his profile, investor/partner in disruptors, tag grading, and slab makes. Perfect. Sweet. So if he's on Instagram, if he's commenting on this stuff, there you have it. If it's on a different platform, you should probably also have it there. If he's on YouTube, in the comment section. If he's on Reddit or whatever, some indication so that it's easy enough for people to find, so you don't have to dig through 3 Instagram profiles and find the teeny tiny one. That sort of thing. I think that's where a lot of the criticism is coming from. And then also, depending on yes, there are probably some creators out there that paid for their own tag grading, that had no affiliation with the company, that wasn't in talks with them beforehand. Sure, I'm sure there's also customers that are they're gonna jump on the tag grading. They're gonna think it's the greatest thing ever. Sure, and they're gonna go out there and they're gonna defend. They're gonna repeat the same talking points. Now, if the tag Discord is overly aggressive with the bans and with who's allowed in there, if anyone's questioning anything that they're doing, and if they get banned for that, I mean, in general, a Discord or a group of any kind, the Reddit, is going to be primarily people that enjoy the company and not people that are just there to stir up shit. If somebody's critical of it, I think it's best to clear the air, show what's what. That's it. Now, Jesse has a McLaren. On that McLaren, he put tag grading vinyl on it. I guess that's as advertising as it gets. Now, I don't know. I think he's just an investor from my knowledge. Not anything to do with being paid for that. He's just passionate about it. He's just investing money into it. And when it's a lot of money and when it's a big company and it's when you're playing a large role in that, I think it becomes more and more important that it's shown. I know in the US, the laws are pretty strict on if something's an ad, disclosing that it's an ad, and the like. So with all of that, be as transparent as possible. Mystic was hanging out with him, taking pictures. They had the McLaren in the background, doing tag things, tagging along with each other. So I think it needs to be a little bit better on that end. All right, before we get into this, We got a clip here, and there's another example of just now. Are we going to use the excuse here that Gem Mint at the time was looking to invest, but maybe no contracts were signed at this point in time? But he's going to go on a podcast here on Peak.Choose channel. He's going to pump the living hell at a tag. And this is where the trust issues come from. So like if you're at tag and you're like, oh, I don't understand. Why does everyone think that we're not disclosing ads, that we're paying creators to post about us, and or we're giving them something for free? My understanding is if you're giving them something for free, they also have to disclose that, at least in the US. I think maybe someone let me know down below. What are the rules and regulations on that? I think if you're compensated in any way, even if it's not by law, I think it's important to disclose it when it's relevant. Doing this, saying this without saying that you're planning on selling stuff and investing in the company is a little bit dirty.
Super, super excited for where the hobby is going to be in 3 to 5 years. Like I'm incredibly excited to see all the things that are coming out. Who's actually going to be the player that or the players that are crushing it or doing well? But I think
I'm just talking high level. I'm just shouting opportunity as I see it. I'm not talking about any particular company. So if you see something coming, you tell me.
You know, I think some people. Well, I'll take a minute here. Okay, I'll just be quick. I think some people know that I think Tag is pretty awesome. I think they're doing things that a lot of people. They're doing really, really well. Like as of now, I have no affiliation with Tag. I've not put any money into Tag. I have no role with Tag. I've never benefited from Tag except for the guy that I'm working for is doing some business with them. So I've helped out with some of that business, but I've never been compensated by Tag directly. Let's just say that. They're doing the AI sort of machine learning piece, and they're pretty consistent. You know, one of the things you talked about, Charlie, was grading on site. And so I know within probably 12 months, Tag's going to have a grading pod that will literally be in a card shop. You can go to that card shop, you can put your card in, it will get graded, encapsulated, it'll come out in a hard case, and then the card shop owner will get part of that revenue. There's no shipping back and forth, there's no insurance back and forth. Like it's like I think that's just gonna break the hobby. Like I think like that is literally gonna like imagine think of the barriers to entry for grading. Think of why people don't want to submit. If you can just go down the street to a card shop and get a card graded, and then it just I don't know. I think it's crazy, but I'm gonna refrain from talking too much about them. But I love everything I see so far.
I mean, I do.
So, for context here, if you're going to be investing in a company, just say it. Just say if you like the company, if you're going to be investing in the company, you don't even have to give a dollar value. From my understanding, it was an extremely large dollar value that required selling some stuff off. But again, just be transparent about it. Just say I'm going to be investing in, I'm planning on investing in, I would like to invest in, and that's it. That's where the trust issues are coming from. Do we get it? Do we understand it? Also, the person that he worked for, Blank, is, again, banned by the competition. Been hypercritical about that. And when a grading company is brand new, I was hypercritical about CGC doing the same thing. Working with the same individual and other individuals who they shouldn't. Who they shouldn't. And they probably understand that they shouldn't now with the whole fiasco involving the playtest cards. Now, you don't have to listen to me. And again, it's just like, yes, a grading company or individuals at a grading company can get ahead by doing shady shit, by working with shady people. And they tend to do it. And the worst part is everyone's like, oh yeah, don't. But other company, XYLMNOP grading, they did the same thing. They did something worse. No, you hold them to the highest standard. If you're trusting them with your cards, even if you like this company, you should want them to not work with the shadies. Please. You should want them to be transparent about stuff. You should want them to crack down. When there's something that's altered and it's in their case, you should want them to do the right thing. You should want them to want to take it back, deactivate it, no matter the price tag on it. When they mess up, fix it. Don't get defensive. You don't need to get defensive. And I don't know, I think it's mostly to do with the people involved here just need a lesson. Need to learn that like that is not the right way to go about it. Don't get defensive. Fix the issue. Tell people you're fixing the issue. If there's someone's claiming that something isn't transparent, provide transparency. If someone's pumping your shit that's investing or going to be investing in your company, make sure they're telling people that. All right, we got Tag S is sold out, but we will be back shortly. Tag X is available currently. Same exact system, computer vision imaging. Okay, so they say computer vision imaging plus reporting. It just focuses on dings. Again, the official Tag accounts, from what I can tell, they avoid saying anything about AI. But again, Gem Mint and many others that use the platform, or maybe they just misunderstand, are always pumping the fact that it's fucking AI. I'm not seeing how it's AI. We saw the walkthrough video where they're bringing up scans on the computer. Great. Okay, fine. It all should be assisted by computers. If you can have it do the majority of the work, there should still be someone who double checks it, someone who takes a look to make sure that it all makes sense. If there's a giant dent that's showing on the screen, the person grading the card can be like, "Oh, wait, maybe that shouldn't be a 10." It's fine. They should all be advancing this stuff. They all want to stand out from each other. But the thing is, a lot of it is the same. A lot of it is you need to rely on yourself more than you do the grading companies. You need to be buying the card, not the grade. Because it doesn't matter which grading company it is, stuff gets misgraded, stuff gets mislabeled. It's going to happen. Counterfeits, trimmed cards, altered cards, whatever it might be, inked. It's all going to get through at some point or another. There's human error, there's computer error. Doesn't matter what it is. It's not AI error, I don't think. In my opinion, I don't see any AI going on at any of these companies. So here, with the two different grading schemes, we saw this before with CGC, where you could get subgrades or no subgrades, and it turns out it was a completely different grading process, which is fucking stupid. You shouldn't have two different grading processes. You should not have 1,000-point score, because the 1,000-point score just doesn't make sense. If your system cannot detect a giant fucking dent on a Zapdos, there's no way. Why? Even the 0.5 grades are fucking stupid. I said it. CGC with 0.5 grades, PSA with 0.5 grades. Even the lower PSA 0.5 grades are the stupidest shit ever. They just never fucking happen. They basically shouldn't even exist. There's no, even then, these grading companies, when you get into a 6 and below, it's the repeatability of that shit is just non-existent. I don't know if it's the same way with Tag. I don't know if it always will be. But regardless, and most of the time, you should not be grading something that's going to get a 6. The vast majority of the time. Again, make sure you're not wasting your money sending stuff in that's going to be worth less than it was raw, or it's going to be worth the same amount. Stupid system. 1,000-wood scale is dumb. 0.5 scale is dumb. 1 through 10. All right. At least it's repeatable. At least it makes a little bit more sense. 1,000 points is it's taking the 0.5 scale and making it exceedingly dumb. All right, here we go. We have Tag Grading here, who says there is proof authentication technology embedded in each slab. You can confirm a suspect counterfeit just by scanning the proof mark on the back of the slab with your phone. So what they're talking about here is the fucking QR code. Is that what we're going to... That's your talking point? Again, you're going to try to make things sound more fancy than they are. It's not. It's the same as a barcode. You can reproduce. I felt stupid as fuck typing this into Google, but I asked Google, can you copy a QR code? And it says, yes, you can copy a QR code. It's essentially an image. You can copy it just like any other picture by taking a screenshot or downloading it directly if you have access to the digital file. Who would have thought? Whoop-de-doo. Schmoogly-boo. All right, here we go. We got Tag Grading here. It says, we use high-grade specialty acrylic, which is much more expensive than a standard polycarbonate. Our acrylic is much more UV resistant, scratch resistant, and optically clear. So, they say this fucking all the time. I don't even, it's like on repeat. They have it on their clipboard here. They're ready to copy paste that shit as quick as possible every time anyone talks about the case. What the hell? All right. We have them talking about how Acrylic, more expensive than polycarbonate. Now, important here is specialty. They're going to call it specialty acrylic, and they're going to compare it to standard polycarbonate. You go to Google, you type in, is acrylic more expensive than polycarbonate? It says no, acrylic is generally considered less expensive than polycarbonate. So you got to compare like to like. If you're going to go with high-end acrylic, you got to go with high-end polycarbonate. You can't just pick the garbage of the garbage. That's like saying base set cards are less expensive than specialty modern cards. First edition base set cards are less expensive than modern cards. But you're comparing a Moonbryon to an energy. Like, compare like to like. I should have thought of that beforehand. So we have pros and cons of acrylic and polycarbonate. You can see it all over the information is available everywhere in existence. It's not new. It's not new materials. It's not new technology. This isn't some groundbreaking thing. It's a fucking piece of plastic that you're putting your shit in. The different plastic has different properties. We have acrylic or a plexiglass is going to be easier to machine than polycarbonate, can be polished both for scratches and clean edges, better glue bonding, shinier, less expensive is a plus for the cases. Now, maybe they're spending more, maybe they're just not getting a very good deal, maybe they're spending more than the other grading companies because they're grading less cards, and if they're grading less cards, they're using less material, and they get a shittier deal on it. Maybe it's they claim that it's being made in the U.S., or the material is coming from elsewhere, and it's being formed in the U.S. I don't know. Maybe they can enlighten us on that. Cons, more rigid, more likely to crack during drilling or upon impact. There you go. Easy peasy. More likely to chip, should not be exposed to open flames. Okay, I'm pretty sure you can polish some plastics with an open flame, but maybe we need to test that. Open flame versus tag slab. We have polycarbonate sheeting. So here we have it. Greater strength than acrylic, more flexible, can be shaped at room temperature, can be exposed to high temperatures and is non-flammable. Highly resistant to chemicals, can be drilled without cracking, lighter in weight than comparable acrylic. So maybe that's a thing too. If you have like a house fire and it's in a safe, you might have to worry about that to some degree. Someone will have to do that testing. Maybe we need Snorlax, Silver Snorlax, to do some testing on that. So here we have it. Scratches easily, cannot be polished, can be dented. I'm pretty sure they can be polished. Maybe not as easily, but polycarbonate PSA cases, you can definitely polish them. Can be dented easily, because softer material, more translucent than transparent as compared to acrylic. So there you have it. Trade-off is you got something that's fucking very easy to damage, that looks better, or you have something, again, it's all right here. I don't know why the smoke and mirrors. We had this example here where tag grading bullies small Pokemon YouTuber for his reviews and opinions, where we had tag grading once again, a YouTube creator, a small YouTube creator, makes a video, is critical of their product, discovers something that they did an oopsie doopsie, makes content about it, and they lose their fucking shit. The investors come out, the fucking company comes out, they're blowing their absolute loads, they're losing their minds, they're saying they have 2 days to respond. Again, just the stupidest shit. Like, who is on these accounts? Tell them to get their shit in check. Like, they're fucking stupid. It's not like me hanging out in my basement saying dumb shit on the internet. This is like, you want to be respected. You want to be this big company and everything else, but you're just fucking embarrassing yourself. So here we have it. We had some information again, and they put a comment on there. They deleted it. It's not professional in any way. Here they say tag slabs are specifically engineered to break upon tampering as a security measure to prevent counterfeiting and resealing, both of which are serious concerns in the industry. In your video, the slab performed exactly as designed, ensuring the integrity of the card and the authenticity of our grading. Okay, so what's the problem? What's the problem then? Because here, they're saying commenting on this again on your video, even though you continue to inaccurately represent that we purposely make our cases fragile, which is false. But they do. Is that not what they're saying before? Are they not saying we make them fragile, but you can't say that we make them fragile? Like, what the fuck? Or you have to use it in a way that's flattering to the company. And then one day ago, yesterday, at the time of, if you're watching this on the day that it came out, we have Tag Rating who says, We have already increased our welding strength in response to the community feedback. You will find that the specialty high-grade acrylic we use is quite durable, but increasing the weld strength makes it even more difficult to pry apart. Did you apologize to Ramsey? If so, he hasn't reached out to me to let me know that you have. So he was right. And you were fucking jackasses and you made yourself look stupid. Because now you're correcting the issue. I don't know who's running this account. I don't know if it's the owner. But dude, you gotta fucking chill. All right, we have some tests going on. We have a tag V PSA slab test. So we have a PSA, we have a tag rating, and no, you shouldn't throw these on the concrete. You shouldn't expect them to not have a chip or a dent or whatever it might be. More importantly was just if you're pushing on the slab and it starts cracking, or you're storing it and it has to have some sort of reasonable difficulty to crack or break. Now they're gonna say, there was one of the comments, I think it was one of the ones that I showed from the video, the previous video, where they're telling you, oh, if you just put a slab mag on it, just they also own slab mags. So is it like some kind of crazy marketing scheme to sell more slab mags? It's just like, oh, don't worry about it. Just all you got to do is you buy your tag slab, you pay us $20 to put your shit in plastic, then you pay more money. I don't know how much the slab mags go for. Maybe it's another $10, $20, let's call it. Good job. Double up. Again, let me know down below how much a slab mag is, and would you ever slab mag? Again, there's like only so many layers of protection that you need to put on these cards. More important is how you store them, where you store them. Even doesn't matter what it is. You should not be storing them in direct sunlight. It is a bad idea. The tag is going to claim that their materials are better for UV protection, but regardless, do not store them in sunlight. Do not store them anywhere that's too hot, too cold, too humid, too dry, or you're going to have bad things happening. All right, here we have. I bent both slabs and threw them in the air. Tag slab was a Collecticon badge from last year. All right, let's watch the video.
Let's see. Let's try cracking it real quick. There you go. You got a little cracks, but I'm really
like certain areas that if you push on it, that it's worse than others, I'm sure.
There you go. Got a little slab right there. And then,
yeah, if you throw it up in the air, it's gonna shatter for sure.
Now you got a PSA slab. One hand, same thing.
You have to expect some kind of reasonable durability, though.
It's a lot bendier for sure.
He is right. It does bend more. The trade-off. They know the trade-off. They're just kind of.
See a little piece pop out.
I don't know.
So after giving them both a bend and then a toss,
pros and cons. You don't want to be sending your shit back in. It's bad enough that, like, if you're sending this stuff through the mail,
bend your slabs. Simple as that.
Don't bend your slabs. Don't throw your slabs on concrete. I don't know. All the additional products, it seems really silly to me that you're buying even like the graded guards to go around the outside of it. It seems a little overkill. I get it. You want your Pikachu to have a yellow strip around the outside of it. I don't know. Personally, I think it's overkill in all cases. There's so many people that are new that are just like, oh, I just want to protect my cards. I don't care about the grade. I don't care about the grading company. Why are you spending fucking $20 on this shit? To grade stuff that's not going to become any more expensive. Why would you ever, again, the people that are sending the big cards in, they have money. They have expensive cards. They're investing in the company. Yes, they're going to show that they regraded something with tag. Yes, there's going to be one-off sales that are more expensive than one of the other companies. But don't trust small data points. Don't trust a single sale. It doesn't matter. Even if you're comparing PSA to PSA, do not trust a single sale and call that the new market. It can be manipulated very easily. You see the same thing with anything that doesn't sell very often, anything that's exceedingly rare. Someone can fake an auction. They can fake it on eBay. They can fake it many other places. Some of these auction companies have posted record sales when they weren't even paid for. It's like the more we've seen market manipulation where on the larger end, quantity wise, where people buy up everything from TCG Player on an IR and then the price goes up. And we're going to trust one sale Like, the person could just be a tag fan. They could just want that specific card. They could just not give a shit. People overpay for auctions all the time. So to compare like a PSA 10 to a tag 10, be very careful. Because if the data's not there, if it's not happening constantly, and that's the thing too, it's just like, is the market there? What is that? There's no benefit to investing in these companies beforehand. Unless you just want to blindly throw money into and hoping something kind of catches on. If you're not doing it for financial value, do not send your cards to any grading company. If you're doing it for financial value and you're going to sell it right away, maybe you send them now. But you're going to send them to wherever is the best return. And just because Beckett Black Label is going to be a jillion times multiplier, you have to take into consideration if you send 100 cards in and you don't get any Black Labels and you have a bunch of 9s, Beckett 9s instead of what could have been PSA 10s, where is the money still there? Or do you got to crank those out and send them to PSA at that point? That sort of thing. But why? Why, guys? Why? Just be smart about it. If it's for personal collection reasons, buy yourself some of those magnetic cases. Put a sticker across the top so it can't come out. Get some screw down cases if you need to. If you have kids and you want your kids to play with them and you don't want them to damage them. Otherwise, semi-rigid is fine. Binder is fine. A lot of these cards that are coming out in mint condition were in binders for years. Top loaders, yes, you should have them in something. Humidity, huge issue. Be very careful. Make sure that you're storing them somewhere that's climate controlled and your stuff isn't going to end up curling or soggy or anything like that. All right, next. We have Pokey at the Ranch, who says, trigger warning, this is the only tag slab I have. Decided to check it out and make a joke about cracking it until I realized shit's already cracked. Store my slabs in these cases. The only thing I can think is the lid closing must have cracked the slab somehow. WTF. I can see I got tons of slabs, mostly PSA, but lots of CGC2, and this is the only slab that's ever had that problem. Tag rating, Clowntown over there, seriously. It doesn't look like, I'm surprised they haven't commented on this yet, but here we have it. And again, maybe they have to include an outer case to go with this case in order to prevent it from cracking, but I think the biggest thing is if you're not moving it, if you're not doing anything with it, you're probably going to be fine. But I think my biggest concern would be like when you go to sell this and you send it to somebody and the mailman gets a little rough with it, he takes it to Pound Town, drops a package, drops another package on top of the package. If you just have it in a bubble mailer, you have to have the most insane packaging of all time for something that, again, if it's not a very expensive card. So he just had it stored in the case here, and he seems to think that just pushing the case lid down on top of it cracked it there. So I would be you. All right, put the dogs away, buddy. Put them away. Oh, cool. It's got like the shadow of the 10. So I think that's the biggest concern. And then just like, oh my God, guys, the investors and stuff like that, just make sure you're making a decision that's not necessarily based. I would love to see anyone that's grading high end that it doesn't have some kind of financial interest in the company. Because that's the thing too, is just like, you can waste a ton of money, not only on the grading fees, but if you're swapping everything over from, let's say, a PSA 10, and all of a sudden tag goes away, people don't want tags, so you decide you want to bring it back, you want to go back to the PSA 10, then you're going to get upcharged probably, depending if it's an expensive card, you're going to get an upcharge on that kind of thing. So I don't know. I have yet to see anyone send expensive cards, especially those that were cracked that aren't financially interested. I got to stop switching over to that. The toe. We don't want to look at that toe anymore. Hopefully that's a little bit of an eye-opener. Again, if you're going to invest in a company, that's fine. If you believe in the company, like surely you must believe in it to some degree if you're investing in it, if you're putting money behind it. But just make that obvious. Make it stand out. So here we have experience fixing a slab error, and I somehow lost. Somebody sent me, I think it was in the Discord, some images of them screwing up essentially the labels, putting the cards in the wrong case. Again, I thought it was automated. I thought this was some sort of system. where that couldn't happen, but it seems like that's happening. It seems like it's the same problems that you see with the other grading companies. They mix up the cards, human error, probably also human error here, if it's not human error. But yeah, just fix the problem, and that's it. Not is extremely uncommon. I don't know. I've seen a couple examples, and again, you're going to see more issues. You're going to see more situations where stuff is misgraded, stuff has the wrong label, anything like that, where there's more volume. That's where that stuff tends to show up. More volume. It's more of a percentage thing that hopefully you keep it to a minimum, and hopefully you kind of fix these issues for the customers. I can't imagine that Tag is just going to cover your shipping to and from and recase anything that ever gets cracked. And I think as a seller, the biggest headache is going to be if it gets mistreated in the mail, or if you have to spend extra to have a box and have it padded to all hell instead of just tossing it in a bubble mailer. I think that's where you're going to see the biggest of the headaches. Not an issue if you're selling it in person, although if you're traveling with it and that gets banged around in your suitcase, that might be a cause for concern. But I don't know. It's just an extra headache because it's bad enough. It's already enough of a pain in the ass with any of the other companies when you have something damaged and you got to reslab it. Whether it's you as the buyer and you're getting a discount on it, you got to send it in, or it's you receive it back and it's damaged. They're probably going to make it right if it was damaged right away when you first receive it, but later on it's probably on you. You're probably paying a re-slabbing fee. Hopefully this was a little bit enlightening. Again, I have no skin in the game. I don't give a shit whether any of these companies do well, don't do well. I'm not rooting against any of them. I'm here to kind of provide an unbiased as possible opinion where I don't grade anything. I don't grade anything. I just don't grade it. I purchase graded. I crack it out. When people make mistakes and they grade an 8 or a 9 in something and it sells for less than near mint, I'm there to snake it up, crack it out, put it in the binder. But yeah, I don't know. I hope that they see, and they clearly haven't, at least not to the degree that they should. I hope they see the value in looking out for the best interest of collectors. And I hope that they're more transparent, and I hope that they all do their due diligence before they're partnering with people, before they're taking business from people. Although it's tempting. It's like CGC. It's CGC's business. How did they get so many cards? How were they getting submissions that were so large? How was it to the point that they were backlogged, but it was all coming from one place? Blank. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. Join the Discord. I think I forgot the link tree, but the link tree is filled with my own affiliate links and discount codes. Get on there, shop. Instead of sending me money, I would prefer you guys buy the things that you want, buy the things that you need anyway. Unfortunately, there are no grading companies on there. I can't recommend a grading company if I'm not going to use it. I can't recommend something if I wouldn't use it or I don't use it already. It just seems a little weird, and it kind of feels that way. That would these if these people weren't investing in Tag, would they be promoting it? Would they be using it? I don't know if they would. I can't think of a single kind of high-end collector that would be putting their money in this kind of stuff. And yes, a lot of them already have financial interest in the other grading companies, so that might be a deterrent to begin with. But be careful. There's noob traps out there. Grading is definitely a noob trap on many levels. Making your cards not worth more money while spending money is just kind of sucking money out of the hobby itself, which I don't like to see it. Kind of gross. But thank you regardless. What do we have on the link tree? I gotta do it by memory. It's in the description of every video. We have Troll and Toad, Securus Card Shop, Card Market. We have the Collector app, if you're not using that to track your collection. A bunch of discount codes that support the channel while you click and buy and get a discount on the things that I know and like and recommend. And then a bunch of click before you shop on all of the big box stores and everything else. Doesn't matter what you're buying. But before you do, if you can think of me and you can click that, that is much appreciated. Love you guys. Take care. See you next time. Bye.